This is a much scaled down version of the 3-hour online report writing course that I run twice a year. And I have 2 new slides. That's not worrying. I've got an hour, 2 new slides for this presentation. I'll just flag it up now. So I'll try not to flick through and leave huge chunks out, but I do want to crack on with them. So
you guys seeing the video okay?
No.
No, what is going on?
Are you seeing it, Pete? I think he turned off his
Yeah, there's definitely an issue with the software.
Well, now my screen has changed.
Mine just did, yeah.
Stick with it, guys. I'll see what I can do. But in the meantime, I will make sure you get a copy afterwards.
All right, thank you.
When you're in your comfort zone, you're at ease. You are in total control of your environment. When you're in your comfort zone, you are likely to have low levels of anxiety and stress.
I can't hear you, Mike.
You can't hear me and you can't see me.
Well, I can see you up in the upper right-hand corner, but I can't hear the dialogue.
Okay, let me try and change some of the settings. Is that any better, Pete?
No, no sound at all except when you speak.
Can't hear the video?
No, sir.
Oh, what a nightmare. Sadly, I just don't know what to do.
It results in an enhanced level of concentration. You have to concentrate on this new thing that's outside your level of comfort, and it makes you focus more on what you are about to do. Indeed, your performance can be enhanced by stress, and that might in turn lead to a better report as a result.
I can hear the video.
You can, Catherine. Hello, how are you? How strange.
However, too much stress will have a negative impact.
I wonder if you can check your audio settings, the other guys who can't hear it. It's very strange that some can and some can't. I'll keep it running.
So think about refreshing, think about sharpening your sword, and remember that your report is your intellectual property. You absolutely didn't die by it. You must write your report. I think, and I know Ray, I think he's still online. Ray's had this discussion already about writing our report based on mine. You know what? Write your report at the time of the day when you do your best work. Again, I look at myself. don't get near where are we, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, to go and sit down and write something creative. They just can't do it. They produce poor, brutal content at this time of the day. I don't work well at night. My best time is to be able to get up at 6 in the morning and sharp. That's when I know I produce my best creative work. So your business, your reputation, the report, all those things, all rest on the content and quality. And we'll talk a bit more about complaints later in this presentation, but IRMS gets more complaints each year because of report writing, or report writing techniques than anything else. And I genuinely believe that I know it's not because of a lack of technical knowledge. I think most surveyors are technically gifted. That's where they come from. But then adding the extra skill of having to write a report is a challenge. And of course, I argue that no matter what age you are, you really are never too old to learn. And there are ways you can improve your reports to adapt them to the ever-changing requirements. And sometimes it's just a tweak that can make a big difference. So, as I've already said, technical knowledge and having that technical competence versus your report writing skills, you have to have the technical knowledge to get on board the boat, to understand what you're looking at and to know what's going on. Then you have to have the ability to write an accurate and succinct report. Those two skill sets have to combine, and they are mutually compatible. And of course, the sheer terror of all of this is that it may be that that report has been written for a court of law 3, 4, 5 years further down the line. And that you need to keep in the back of your mind, I think, at all times. So the two skills really are inextricably linked. Talk briefly about walkthrough surveys. A lot of the stuff I'm presenting you here is because of things that have reached my domain, situations I have heard or I have seen arising. Just a word of caution, be very aware of walkthrough surveys. Walkthrough surveys, it seems, and perhaps not surprisingly, can be highly dangerous. You might be asked to make an assessment with a client who's looking at a number of craft with a view to purchasing. So you're being asked to take a visual look at both opinion. Very dangerous. Verbal advice, comments can then be used against you. It becomes unhelpful because you put him off buying that boat, which he then later decides to buy or vice versa. So don't leave yourself exposed, and please don't get involved in walkthrough surveys. Now, I want you to try and get your mind around the difference between fact and opinion. This is a busy slide, I'll try and run through it. Fact is described as a statement that can be verified or proved to be true, whilst opinion is an expression of judgment or belief about something. Fact relies on observation or research, while opinion is based on assumption. Fact is an objective reality, opinion is a subjective statement. Facts can be verified with evidence or statistics. Opinion is not supported by the evidence. Facts explain what actually happened, and like your opinion or represents your perception. The fact is universal and does not differ from person to person. Every person has a different opinion on a particular subject, and so will vary from one to another. One of my favourite phrases is if you get 10 researchers in a room together, you're going to get 10 different opinions. That is true. Facts are shown in unbiased words. However, opinions expressed with very biased words. Facts can change anybody's opinion, but vice versa is not possible. Facts are real information that can be challenged or debated. Opinions can be debated. It won't surprise you that we're going to talk about the use of facts in reports and not opinions. For those of you working in the UK, let me just remind you about the Statute of Limitations Act. This will vary from geography or from territory to territory. But in the UK, limitation periods under the civil law of England and Wales were fixed by the Limitation Act in 1980. This is the Consumer Act. These are fixed periods of time during which civil proceedings must be started. In a breach of contract claim, the limitation period will start to run from the date of the alleged breach by the defendant. This would apply regardless of how long ago the contract was entered into. The claim for breach of contract must be brought within 6 years of the date. Pardon me. So people have 6 years to bring a claim. In reality, when I talk to insurers, they say there are very few claims that are brought in 6 years, but there are certainly some in the 3, 4, and 5 years. So be aware of that. We touched on the law of tort earlier when Karen spoke. Let me just flash through a couple of slides of the law of tort. The definition is, in terms of it's the law governing implicit civil responsibilities that people have to one another as opposed to those responsibilities that are set out in the contract. The law of tort requires legal remedies, often payment of money to those who have been damaged by someone to meet those implicit responsibilities. But understand that other countries' tort laws behave very differently indeed. You need to check that out depending on how you are. But what does this mean in practice? The law of tort states that one party owes the other a duty of care. Let's reduce. Apologies. The law of tort is involved and it's complex. But breach of care can occur if you fail to act as a reasonable man. And obviously that applies to a reasonable woman too. Or if you fail to exercise reasonable care. Or if you fail to carry out your service in a reasonable time. Or if you fail to charge a reasonable fee. And remind you, all you're professionals, you should charge a good fee for the work that you do. Of course, what does the word reasonable mean? The decision as to what is meant by reasonable, of course, will be decided by the courts. But a good signed set of terms will help you hugely. To understand what you've been asked to do. Are you being asked to do a pre-purchase, full condition survey, or insurance, damage report, valuation, specific area, the rest of the survey? What are you being asked to do? You must understand who is your principal client. Understand who you're contracting to. It might always seem straightforward, but sometimes, you know what, it's not. Smoke and mirrors. Again, just to remind you, you might be writing your report for a judge and jury, somebody is further down the line. Be sure you have absolutely clear instructions. Do not accept the job until you know exactly what is required and expected of you. Understand what that client is expecting to see from you in the final report. Set up good communications. Touched on this morning. Yes, be friendly, but be professional and efficient at all times. Be sure the client's expectations are managed right from the outset. This is really important. Understand and be sure that the job you're being asked to do sits within your competency range, sits within your skill set and within your capabilities. I cannot overstress this enough. If this is not the case, do not accept the instruction, because I think we all know that working outside our areas of competency can only lead to problems further down the line. And it's better that or to walk away from something. The past job to understand who you can do that type of work. That might be hard to do. But when you work outside your competency, I get a complaint if it all goes wrong. Let me touch on what a contract is. Just to remind everybody, a contract is a legally binding agreement. It recognises and governs the rights and duties of the parties to the agreement. A contract is legally enforceable because it meets the requirements and approval of the law. An agreement typically involves the exchange of goods and services, money, and promises of any of those. And of course, remember that it can be written or spoken. Spoken contracts ultimately are much harder to prove, much easier to prove a claim when it's in writing, but spoken contracts do exist. I said this morning that it's you who chooses your clients, and it really is important that you remember that. So once you have decided that you will accept your client's instructions, you must put a contract in place. You should tie in with your terms of business. It should be signed or agreed by your client before you start the survey. And these days, an email confirmation is quite acceptable. And of course, you should put in those special exclusions and clauses. You should put those into the contract. You should show the cost of the survey and the date, should also be confirmed, and then include your payment terms. Most surveyors these days take time before they do the job, but there are still some who prefer to just get them out. But that's your personal choice. Terms of business are particular to you, so they need to be drawn up to suit your needs. Your PI insurer is probably able to help you with some standard terms, but you still need to personalize. And they need to be put together very carefully to include your exclusion clauses and always caveats that we will touch on. So if you want to exclude an item from the report, it should be in your terms of business or your contract or both, and therefore read by the principal before you start. However, be aware that caveats in your report are actually sometimes literally used if things do go wrong. And that is a simple fact of reality. We heard from Nick Parkin this morning about GDPR. Again, let me just remind you, the EU General Data Protection Regulation was probably the most important change in the last 20 years as far as the handling of data and privacy is concerned. And it's not about rule, actually. It makes common sense. It gives us back our ability to control data. And for those of you living in the UK, it should be finally exit Brexit very soon, possibly. Who knows? That's what happens on Thursday. It's not going to be affected by that. That is a piece of legislation. And even if you're not in the EU, it's possible that you will still be affected by it if you engage with organisations and people, individuals who are based on the EU. Ignorance of GDPR is no protection. The fines are really heavy. So please ensure you comply. Make sure you have a statement in there on the website eugdpr.org. Now, I've got a question here. Let me just pick this up. Another question? No, I haven't got a question. Keep going. So before you set out to do your survey, you will have, of course, established those good client relationships and communication. Search the rest of it. Go to the broker's website. Have a look at the details. If you can, go to the builder site, get information. It's not so easy when the builder doesn't exist. There are often articles in magazines, online articles, something on forums about particular customers. And you might be amazed and surprised if you put that name into Google and actually what it turns out. So I argue you need as much information before you arrive at the boat as you can possibly get. And the last 2 points that on the side are important. If you've taken on a big job, Jeff Wellington referred to a £60 million boat commitment to the survey. Well, is there really insurance in data? Do you have public liability in place? And are you about to take on a job that is beyond the scope of your insurance? What do you think about that? If you are about to work outside the limitations of your insurance cover, you will be our insurer. They can obviously give you increased cover for one-offs as to the regulations. Be aware of standard known vessel faults. We talked a bit about this morning. You can research the known problems and weaknesses, for example, with construction, appendages, machinery, equipment. There are some vessels that exhibit known faults. So try and make yourself familiar with those. So what I'm saying against preparation is key. Okay, let's look at physically composing your report. Assuming, of course, we're not using Craig's wonderful InspectX software. Let's just look at the definition of what a report is. And, I mean, it's quite clear. A report is a written document. That's what a report is. It's produced for a clear purpose and for a particular audience. Specific information and evidence are presented, analysed, and applied. The information is presented in a clearly structured format, making use of sections and headings so that the information is easy to locate and follow. When you are asked by somebody to write a report, you will have been given an instruction. That instruction presumably should outline the purpose, the audience, the problem, or the issue that your report then will address. Most reports include an executive summary. Is a definition of that for you, or a conclusion, then sometimes called a conclusion. An executive summary is a short section within a document that summarizes the longer report in such a way that readers can quickly become acquainted with the whole report without having to read it. It contains a brief statement of the content covering the report, some pertinent background information, precise analysis, and the main conclusions. It is intended as an aid to decision-making by busy people who won't read the whole report, and let's face it, many people don't read the whole report. I know that busy whole writers certainly are known to turn straight to the summary page. So if you're going to include a summary, it needs to be good, to the point, and accurate. People often say to me, how long should my report be? I think for younger surveyors who are making their way in the world, they often seem to think that it's about producing long reports to justify the fee. We don't agree with that. A pre-purchase survey, perhaps 20 pages. You should be able to say what you need to say in 20 pages. Basic structural survey, perhaps a dozen pages. Certainly in an institute's opinion, if you've got more than that, you've probably overstated the problems. Use simple short sentences. You don't need to write long sentences. In fact, if you do write long sentences, they become unwieldy and they need to be punctuated. Short sentences. And remember, this is so important. Your report will be written sometime later after you have done that survey. Therefore, your report must always be written in the past tense. So many of the reports that end up on my desk as a complaint are written in the present tense, and some are written in the present and the past tense, a mix, because the surveyor's forgotten and has moved from one tense to the other. So please, reports should be written in the past tense, what you saw on that day at that time. Of course, your report is a legal document, so make sure you date it and you sign it. The client is paying you for a written report, and it is a legal document. If you end up in court, a PDF report cannot be used in court without proof of the original document. And as I said already, remember that the public, certainly in the UK, have up to 6 years to bring a claim against you. Now, we touched earlier about inaccessible areas. You should state, or could state in your report, I have not inspected the mouldings or woodwork or other parts of the structure which were covered, unexposed, or inaccessible, and therefore able to report that such part of the structure was free from defect. Now, we had a bit of a debate this morning about what the word inaccessible means. So again, maybe this report, my report writing presentation, needs a bit of an overview. I'll be talking to Karen afterwards. Again, talk to your PI insurer. They will probably insist that a clause of this type is included in each section of the report. And Karen made a really interesting point earlier. She said, it's okay to repeat things. And it is okay to repeat things throughout the report. It's not maybe how we would write necessarily if we were writing an essay. But you're not writing an essay, you're writing a report. Sometimes it is important to repeat, and repeat. Really important to report the things you're not saying. I think everybody probably knows that. But you need to state that no parts of the craft were dismantled, no bolts were drawn for inspection, unless you agree otherwise. You should say that no attempt was made to improve machinery or systems, unless you are planning to do that as part of the survey. And we had a look at some electrical horrors this morning, courtesy of Paul Hagley. So if you're looking at electrical installation or any switch testing, make sure that's in your report. Data protection. This is your intellectual property. Please protect it. So the information contained in this report is the intellectual property of, put your name in. This document contains confidential information that is legally privileged as it is, intended for use of the investment only. All information contained herein is covered by the EU General Data Protection Regulations. And protect your copyright. An example at the bottom there, copyright with the C in the circle, Mike Schwarz, your name, 2018. This report, the international copyright of which is vested in, which your name in, is confidential to the main client and is non-transferable. It cannot be copied, reproduced, kept in the data bank, stored in any retrieval system, or transmitted in any form, or by any means whatsoever, or otherwise given or sold to any third party without the prior written consent of the copyright holder, which is you. So please make sure you protect your copyright. You need to put something about law and jurisdiction. Again, this will vary depending on where you are in the world. In the UK, the document is to be construed under English law, and English law shall be used in interpreting the document and for resolving all claims or disputes arising out of or connected with the document. So, do understand how that works in your local jurisdiction. As I've said, I get too many complaints. 20 a year, maybe something like that, more than 1 month. Those complaints reach me for a number of reasons. Sometimes the report just contains insufficient detail. Quite often, an opinion is offered when it certainly wasn't asked for. Sometimes the surveyor just has a bad day, and let's face it, we're all human, and the surveyor misses something obvious. We've had a few where surveyors have commented on a leak, but then they've done no further investigation, and they didn't caveat that. And that has later led to problems when related issues occurred when someone has looked a bit deeper into what was causing the leak. What I can never defend a surveyor for is wrong content cut and pasted from one report to another. We all cut and paste. Terribly important just to be very mindful of what you are cutting and pasting. And when that happens, the best advice I can give to the surveyor is to give the client his money. Poor communication skills when a problem arises. There are some who will simply not face up to the problem. We touched on not managing client expectations. And I've said right in there, very rarely is it a lack of technical knowledge that generates a complaint. And sadly, about poor report writing that has led us to. So before you start to compose your report, I want you to think about these things on the right-hand side of the screen. The content of your report, word clarity, we'll look at some examples of word clarity in a minute, style, presentation, language, vocabulary, and very important, that's what I mean to this grammar. A good report should reflect your findings in accordance with the client's original instructions. A good report should be well laid out, concise and easy to read. Don't use jargon. A good report should be always written in the past tense. A good report should not make assumptions as to what caused the problem and defects that you found, and state the facts only and only the facts. A good report should include all relevant information. A good report should have that word clarity that I mentioned earlier, meaning that numerous photographs or diagrams are not required. And it would seem that the jury is changing their mind on that. Our jury, I've been carrying this morning, who suggested that numerous photographs in the pre-purchase survey. That is not the way to go. And of course, a good report should not require the client to come back to the whole stream of questions. after you've made it available. I know this is the real world, sometimes that's just not the case. But ideally, you need to provide good quality, concise report, and then the client can make his own decision. A few things that your report should not do: don't offer opinions, don't give rumours or hearsay. I've had a few complaints where that's been the case. Don't include off-the-cuff remarks, don't promote spurious information. We've talked about waffle, keep it concise. Your report should not deliver irrelevant and superfluous information. And again, keep hammering it at home. It should not be written in anything other than past tense. So always the past tense. Make sure you give precise information to your client. Be sure your client understands your statements. So many people say who are buying a boat will be first-time boat owners, or they are not technically gifted people. So don't use jargon. They may well have a very limited understanding of the vessels and not much technical knowledge. Never overstate, don't exaggerate. Give sufficient details and leave the client then to decide on their next course of action. Big no-no, don't get involved in dealings between the buyer and the seller. That's the broker's job, but it happens. So just report the facts and only the facts. Right, I want to give you an example of vagueness. This is actually a real statement. And this was made by a government minister who in his statement said, "My officials are monitoring this situation very closely, and I can promise we shall take all appropriate measures to ensure that the situation is resolved in a way that is fair to all the parties involved." I think that statement should be challenged on the grounds of vagueness. Despite the appearance of having promised to do something specific, the minister who made that statement hasn't really promised to do anything at all. And what are appropriate measures? That's wishy-washy and woolly. They could mean anything, something, or nothing. What does being fair to all parties mean? A phrase such as that is vague. It can mean almost anything. It's open to interpretation. It does have, it should have no basis. Examples of vague words. Vague words can create wrong or confusing meanings in your client's mind. So what you're doing is you are giving a general idea, but you are leaving your client to interpret the precise meaning. I've got a few examples I want to share with you here of vague words and some of the ways that you can make them specific. I went to see the boat many times. Surely better to say I went to see the boat 17 times. Or God help you, you went to see the boat 103 times. But much more specific. I'll see you early tomorrow. Much better, I'll see you at 5 AM tomorrow. Much more precise. It was very hot when I saw the boat. It was 97 degrees Fahrenheit when I saw the boat. Much clearer. Hot could be anything from, I don't know, 20 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. It's a sliding scale. Describe what hot means. Most. I don't put an actual specific number in. I'll see you soon. That's better if you know and you can commit. I'll see you at 6 PM on Tuesday. So examples of where vagueness should be challenged, you should challenge those I think in your report and try to be much more specific. I'm a big fan of flabby phrases, word clarity, or more getting rid of flabby phrases. I'm not going to run through all of these. You can pick these up in particular. But let's just pick a couple. The man was completely engulfed with flames. Just engulfed is fine. Let's leave the word completely. What else have we got here? On a regular basis. Regularly is just fine. I was surrounded on all sides by the army. Just on all sides is redundant. I was surrounded on all sides. So you're taking, I'm sorry, not on the side. So you're taking words out there and you're leaving words that are less flabby, you're using fewer words, but it means exactly the same thing. Let's look at some examples of descriptive words and phrases. If I said to you, he was a small man, that gives you a limited visual impression. If 10 of us considered that and then thought about the next step, he's a small man, what does that mean? We all added a bit more, we would come up with 10 different answers. A few descriptive words can completely change that. So here's an example. It's slightly longer, but it gives you no doubt about this man. He was a diminutive, tattooed, brown-eyed man, stocky in appearance with a ruddy complexion. Now you have a complete understanding, much more detailed understanding about that man, that small man. We talk about commas, moving into grammar. A comma can be so crucial. Recently, it's cost us quite a lot of money when he unwittingly put a comma in the wrong place and fundamentally changed the whole basis of the sentence. So, the placing of the comma really can change the meaning of a sentence, and sometimes it can be with catastrophic outcomes. So again, I'd like you just to consider these two phrases. Eats, shoots, and leaves. That could be something that a panda does in its enclosure. Eats it, shoots, and then leaves the enclosure. The addition of the comma fundamentally changes this phrase. Eats, comma, shoots, and leaves. That could be something that a murderer does. He's sitting in a restaurant, he eats, he then shoots the other diners, and then he leaves. I know, it's a crazy example. But what's happened is that one simple comma has fundamentally changed the meaning of the phrase. And should you be unfortunate enough to end up in a court of law, this is the way I'm afraid that lawyers, barristers, legal people will look at this information. So be very, very careful to think about the use of commas. Proofreading. Gosh, such a big job proofreading, and it is a different skill set. So before you send out your report, you send your email attachment, you must make sure your report has been carefully proofread. Not only from grammatical errors, for spelling, punctuation, and because technical inaccuracies. I know a lot of students who write their report, put it away, come back to it the following morning, read it again, and then issue it, and maybe make some more changes. Spell checker is fine to a point, but spell checker won't pick up all of the issues. There is some free online proofreading software available, some paid software available. The next slide will give you a couple of examples. Because you could outsource it to your skilled proofreader, or you simply could put it out to someone else in your network of people, or friends, who possesses that skill. The reality is we don't spot our own mistakes. I think you'll probably all go to it, some is better than others, we just don't spot our own mistakes. And someone else can have that mind. Really important to get you that proofreading. I don't want to write these down, they will come over in the video, but these three sites are all excellent. I think the top one and the bottom will do show it's relatively small now. We use Grammarly, we actually use Grammarly not for proofreading, but for checking whether or not some of our work that's done on our professional qualification education modules has been plagiarized from the internet, and it's a brilliant system. So there is help out there that can make sure you watch something out grammatically doesn't have spelling mistakes. Let's talk briefly about the presentation of your report. So the report must look professional. If you send it still in a hard copy, or I know many still do, spiral bind it if you can, don't put a staple through it, use the front and back cover. Looks so much nicer. If you're going to email your report, then please lock it in a PDF. Don't send it in Word format. I know PDFs can also be tampered with. It is much harder to edit a PDF. Word document very simple to edit. And the last thing you want to do is find yourself in court and to discover that your word format report has been changed or amended. And of course, if you do all of this right, your report will become the best and cheapest form of advertising you can do. Type fonts, I've seen reports produced in type fonts that, I mean, you can't read the report. It's very difficult to read the report. The use of fancy, hard to read type fonts is absurd. So use popular serif fonts, Times New Roman, Palatino, Georgia, Courier, Bookman, Garamond, Arial is another one that's quite popular. All of those are great to use in your report. Here's a few more examples. Top 4 fine, Times New Roman, Palatino, Linotype, Georgia, Bookman, no problem with any of those. At the bottom 4, as you can see, pretty obvious, you want to steer through all of those. Blackadder, French script, Kunstler, and Rage Attack. But I have seen reports produced with that type of type font. And you wonder why there's a problem. So what if it all goes wrong? Your client is unhappy. And of course, remember they've got this 6-year window. You mustn't ignore the problem. It won't go away. And you need to deal with it before a complaint reaches my desk. Complaints do reach my desk, sadly. I had a surveyor last year who rang and said, Mike, I've done something silly. I've worked outside my area of competency, and it's a problem. He said, you're going to get a complaint. I said, I know, the complaint's already right, it came yesterday. So people, unfortunately, that's the action people take. You should contact your insurer immediately, get some advice from them, talk to the client, you might consider mediation, but try to come to an amicable conclusion. And good client care, again, it goes a long way at this point. Communication's got to be good, and politeness, all those things are very important. And I would say, at the end of the day, returning a fee, not something that anybody really wants to have to do, but it is always a better, more palatable, and cheaper option than facing lawyers and angry clients in court. In the case I mentioned just a moment ago, where the surveyor said we're going to get a complaint, I'd actually spoken to the client and said, what is it you want? And he said, I would like the surveyor to give my feedback. I'll walk away and I'll go get another survey. The surveyor agreed to do that, and everybody walked away happy. What about online negative reviews? It seems bonkers that we're having this type of conversation these days, but this is not based on theory of what possibly happening. This has happened to a surveyor as a result of producing what his client believed to be a poor report. He took to the internet, he left a really, really awful Google review. I'm not going to name the surveyor, his name wasn't Michael Smith, but it went something along the lines of, not quite verbatim, but do not use this surveyor ever. Michael Smith is a con man, he will rip you off. He did a pre-purchase survey on our yacht and missed loads of things. Cost us a fortune to fix. His reports are rubbish. He has no idea what he is doing. Make sure you alert your friends of this idiot and give him a mind that he has destroyed our dreams. Absolutely a true scenario, not, as I say, don't have a member called Michael Smith, and those aren't quite the words that are used on the Google review. But if such a statement finds its way onto your website listing, could seriously harm your business and your reputation, so what can you do in those circumstances? When I spoke to the surveyor, he rang me and he said, help. I said, you must know who's written that bad Google review. And he said, absolutely, I know who's written it. And I said, well, why don't you contact them? Ask them to withdraw the comment immediately. Because it's opinion-based, it's not factually correct, what we talked about earlier. Guys had a bad survey, didn't like the survey, went on to Google and left a damning review. If that doesn't work, you write directly to Google. Google are actually quite sensible with these things, I've found. You might have to take some legal advice. You could threaten to sue the correspondent for defamation of character. An absolutely final last resort is to remove your website from Google. You really, if you have a website, don't want to be doing that. So, in the end, with a little bit of help from me, we composed a letter and sent it to the person who put it there and informed them that we would be taking legal advice unless they withdrew the comment. Of course, you as the recipient of that comment can't withdraw it. It disappeared within 24 hours, so all was well at the end. But, you know, it's dangerous to see that side happen. So look, I thought I wouldn't have time to get all my slides in, 45 minutes. Good luck, surveying the report well. If anyone wants to ask any questions, we've got probably 5 minutes to take a few questions. I'm really wants to pick my brains on anything.
Well, I hope that was useful in some way, shape, or form.
Have a more objective professional approach to evaluations because with small craft surveys it seems to be more a subjective approach to things. So we're going to look at the role of the surveyor, the evaluation process.
Just realised that's the next video. Thought that was somebody on the. You don't want to hear about that. Does anybody have any questions on report writing? That's the non-technical stuff, by the way. You know, there's no technicals because I'm not technical. You all know, or those of you who know me, I'm the least technical man you'll ever meet.
One suggestion that I use for most of our reports is right behind the executive summary. Before I get into the main body of the report, I have a full page list of definitions.
Yep.
Terms and definitions.
Yep.
Just
really good idea.
It eliminates a lot of the confusion that comes up.
You're talking about a glossary or.
Glossary or.
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea. Good idea. I have to say, I mean, IMS doesn't have a report writing template. I wouldn't want to do that because we're all individuals, aren't we? And we all like to present things in our own way, write things in our own way, use our own type of language. But the example I gave about the comma, that cost us £7,500. What's that, $10,000? You know, couldn't defend himself because of a misplaced comma. And some smart-ass London lawyer got stuck in and had a field day. So it's tough stuff, but you'll get a copy of that video. I'll send that round when we get back to the UK, and I'll send you that with all the other stuff. Right, that's enough from me. To you guys online, I'm hoping we might have some success here, but we'll see, won't we?